Hey, you guys, thanks for watching. You're watching. Um, we've done, we, as in me, uh, I've done lots of videos here in the last few years. It's fun as I used to not really be into doing any kind of, I couldn't even talk. Back in the past, it was like getting me to say something was like my words would like I would like trip over my words. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. It was just really, really, really difficult. And now it's just super easy. It's fun, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy sharing my life with people. So much so that I get myself into trouble sometimes because I say too much about my own private business that really doesn't belong probably on social media. Because, who shares everything about themselves? It's probably not a good thing to do, but I do it, and I don't really think, I don't know. Sometimes I just need to be careful, you know, because sharing personal information is dangerous. So I've been just trying to wean myself off of doing that kind of thing. And I think I've gotten better at it. But sometimes, again, I catch myself saying things that I probably shouldn't say. Hey, teen, how are you? It's so good to have you on today. How are things in Nebraska? We we're just a few days and we're out of here. This place has served its purpose, but it is time to go. I'm tired of looking at that comforter over there. It's like so not my color, and it's so like I don't even know, 80s, 70s. I don't know. I would like to say it was vintage, but it's not. It's just ugly. That's all it is to me. It's just ugly. And it looks like a pink room. I don't know, but it served its purpose. It's been great to live in this room. It's easy. We never had to pay the cable bill. We didn't have to pay the water bill. We didn't have to pay the electric bill. We didn't have to pay gas bill or any bill, right? We just paid the monthly rent for the place. And we had it all included. Um, but it also had its drawbacks because when you wanted to go outside, there was no porch, there was no backyard, there was no way to plant anything. You couldn't grow anything. You couldn't really do anything outside other than walk around, which we did a lot of. But sometimes you just want to veg out in the middle of the day, sitting on patio furniture outside, sipping some lemonade or iced tea, and you just couldn't because you walk out the front door and it's like one of those old school motel rooms with the metal railing and just overlooking the parking lot. No pool, no nothing like that. And lately it's turned into like a construction haven or something. Like lots of construction workers are overnighting here and stuff like that. And I guess it's getting to be loud, and there's car alarms that go off. People park at the Denny's right there, right down the street, and it just isn't like a home. Let me just say that it's not a home. It's a place to stay. And during the time that we were traveling, it was a real respite from the norm, of having to not know where we were staying at any particular time point in the day. It's like I remember when we were on the journey, it'd come around to be 2 o'clock and we'd be like, gosh, we need to leave because we need to find a place to park our car, you know. But it is what it is. And it served its purpose. It really did. When we got here to Silver City, can you believe it's been a year? Almost a year. Like we got here August 1st or 3rd, or something like that. It was, by next week, it'll have been a whole year. And I can't believe how time has flown by. Sometimes it took a long time because it got a little boring here, honestly. But other times it just flew by. And Mark and I have been through so many things, emotionally, as people, as a couple. And it's been really a life-changing experience. The whole time that we've been here, I remember coming here with the intention of detransitioning at the time because I wanted to take care of the paperwork here, reverse things, and do all the things that needed to be done. But once I got here, I realized there's just no way that was going to happen. Honestly, the whole other side of things, and the other life that both Mark and I had prior to transitioning, it really got in the way of things and of our relationship, And I remember that when I left El Paso back on the Cinco de Mayo of this year, May 5th, Mark and I, we looked at each other and we're like, why are we not grieving for ourselves, in this relationship? Why are we like kind of melancholy about the whole thing? Part of me was really sad. And then the other part of me wasn't. It's like the other part of me was like, yay, we get to finally live here, And the other part of me was like, oh, this is the end of the road. And what I'm talking about is it truly was the end of the road for Paul and Maritza. That was basically kind of the swan song, is the time when we said goodbye from from Las Cruces, at that little hotel that had a shuttle service that was going to take me to El Paso. That's the day that really Paul and Maritza died. Because prior to that, we had been bouncing around between the two lives and things and trying to juggle our gender issues and stuff and trying to figure things out. But at the end of the day, that other life had really served its purpose. I served my purpose. That person, that was me, served their purpose back then. And other than having children and trying to make a connection with them, my life as that other person has no meaning. It doesn't serve any purpose in the relationship that I have with Mark. And, although Mark did all that he did, he was still holding on to those old things of the past too, because I brought that out of him, because I was still in that confused state. But I am so glad to tell you that those days are over. That life is done. Mark and I are so happy. We're so, we see each other in a way that, he sees me as his wife and as his woman and as nothing else, really. I am Lena, and I always will be. And there is no longer any hesitation, any holding back, any sense of guilt, any fear, any frustration. All that is gone, just gone. Because as Mark and Lena, we work so much better together. And now that Mark totally sees me, and now that he's really just kind of taken to his true sense of being, which is a man, honestly, he is just madly in love with me. He doesn't look at me the same. He looks at me with so much desire and looks at me as his wife. And it's so beautiful because I see him as my man, honestly, and I want to do everything that I can for him, everything that I can. And I have been, I have been. It's really great to be able to do that for him. Made some really good dishes lately, some really good Puerto Rican food. Yes, the roles are very clear, and it's a real blessing to finally have that stuff all ironed out, because that gets in the way, it really does. It gets in the way of our relationship, and it gets to be very confusing because that prior life really doesn't serve any purpose, in the present. With regards to my children, I don't know what to think anymore. On the one hand, I want them to be able to be in my life, and on the other hand, I want them to be comfortable with the life that they have. And if the life that they have is a life that doesn't want me in it, then I need to, I have made peace, I think you guys can see that I've totally made peace with it. I'm very much at ease about everything. And I texted my oldest. I hadn't spoken to him, since we last, I think he went to his sister's graduation back in June. And that was the last time he called me. And last week I sent him a text and explained to him about the present situation and that I had moved back to Silver City, and Mark and I were living our gender roles as we intended to. And I got nothing in return, but that's not my problem. Unfortunately for him, he's missing out on a great person. And it's really sad that has to be the case, but it is what it is. My primary responsibility is to take care of Mark. And I know that. And I want that. I want to take care of him. I want to provide him a loving spouse, a loving home, a wonderful sanctuary where he can relax. And, he works so hard. And I just want him to be able to come home to a place that he's going to be comfortable in. And for him to just spend time with me, and we can just grow as a couple, as a married couple, as a normal heterosexual married couple. I know that many people don't understand that because that's not what you see us as, but we are a normal heterosexual couple. And that's how we see ourselves. Honestly, the trans thing is just kind of our past, and our present is just to love each other and to not make a big deal out of the trans issue, not to be involved in all the trans stuff, and just live. That's it. We're just going to live. So we have cats in our future, which are happening. two kittens that we're gonna get. I don't know if I'm like swallowing too much here, but two litter mates, which I stated earlier that we were gonna do, um, a boy and a girl, and probably have to teach them how to do everything right. I'm gonna be their mommy, and Mark's gonna be their daddy, and it's gonna be one big happy Cummings family. That's basically what we're gonna be doing. We have a beautiful home that we're moving to. We get the keys on Friday. On Friday. Already. It's Wednesday now. So 2 days. And the keys are in our hands. Yes. So we just bought a foam mattress, and it's over off the camera there where my finger is pointing, right over there. And this place is going to start looking like a junkyard because we got to get everything all sorted out and boxed up or packaged up or luggaged up or whatever it is that we need to do. We're going to make sure that everything's cleared out. We don't have a lot, obviously, but we do have this, and I mean, there's certain household things like that, the Ninja and the computers, and just some stuff or whatnot. I think probably the biggest thing we have is the air fryer. We have some pots and pans, a rice cooker, Hitachi. We have a vase for the flowers. We have a water jug that's made out of glass, but no refrigerator, no appliances, no TV, no real heavy items. And we live on the second floor right now, so everything's downhill. So we take the stairs down, put in the car, and I don't think we're even going to rent a van or anything like that. We're just going to make a few trips with the Prius and call it a day. So we're looking at probably spending our first night there. I mean, I would like to spend the night on Friday personally, because that's how I am. It's like when I get things to try on, or I mean, when I buy shoes or when I buy clothes and stuff, sometimes I wear them out, of the store. And I go, oh, by the way, is this got a tag on it? Can you take it off? Or if it has like a store security thing, can you pull this off of my shirt, off of my top, off of my dress? So I'm just that way, I like the new things and stuff, and I'll probably have to wait till Sunday night, till we spend the first night. Maybe I could get Mark to do it on Saturday night. Depends if we make the bet or not. But hopefully I'll be able to get the food moved so that if we move the food, then we're going to have to stay there, right? Well, that's the plan anyway. I'll just push for sending the food first and then get other things later. But again, he works really hard. His shift is from 4 a.m. in the morning to, yeah, I vote stay Friday. Yes, I do too. Um, but he works hard, and his hands get all cut up and stuff. I mean, I've been telling him, you need to wear some batting gloves, a golf glove, or some glove that gives you some dexterity, makes your hands, protects your hands and stuff, and gives you like a second skin. But he doesn't like to wear gloves all the time, and he works in a freezer sometimes for 45 minutes at a time. So the batting glove or golf glove idea is not going to keep his hands warm. So he was thinking about using latex gloves, because sometimes he uses this scanner thing that Walmart has to scan things in, and needs his finger to swipe stuff. And also dealing with produce and stuff, it's kind of gross. You understand, right? So yeah, so Needless to say, he comes home and he's tired because he's worked from 4 a.m. and till 1 p.m. And although he has maybe a couple hours left on his shift right now, we go straight to the gym after this is over. I mean, after his shift is over. And he puts in an extra effort at the gym because he knows that he can just wear himself out and he's able to recuperate through the night hours. The only problem is he can't get enough sleep. Even if he goes to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, it's still not enough sleep. So we've been talking about him taking a nap maybe after he gets back from the gym while I'm making food and stuff like that. And by the way, I made some awesome food yesterday. I fried up, well, I partially fried some breaded chicken breast and stuff. So I outdid myself. It was so yummy. And then I put it in the air fryer, which kept it from, cooking in oil and stuff like that. And it came out delicious. I mean, I just set the air fryer at a very low temperature and let it kind of cook for a while in there. And I made some rice with my Puerto Rican recaito stuff that I made. I made another fresh batch, which is, if you guys are interested in making any kind of Puerto Rican dish, here's a start. Okay, the start is to make your own recaito, and it's basically a cooking base that I talked about in an earlier video, but it's spelled Recaito, and it's pronounced recaito, right? So anyway, it consists of four. I always do that. I've always done that. Three. This is 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. It consists of 4 ingredients: garlic, cilantro, culantro, which I can't find, which is a cousin to cilantro, onion. Am I missing something? Oh, 5 ingredients. And Cubanelle peppers. I use green peppers, a bell pepper this time, but I stick all those ingredients in this little Ninja, blend it all up, and it comes out into this green mash, basically. It's a cooking base, and it's very pungent, strong scent. And that's what we pretty much add to our beans, when we're cooking. We add to our rice when we're cooking. We season things with like cumin and turmeric. So there's it's a totally different way of cooking than Mexican. I mean, people think of Mexican, they think, oh, Puerto Rican's the same, but no. Puerto Rican is more like a Creole kind of cooking, like Louisiana, kind of spicy, but not really hot or anything, just very flavorful. So our recaito is very flavorful, and it gives our foods a very zesty, flavorful taste to it. So there you go. If you guys ever want to make anything that's slightly Caribbean or whatever, use those 4 ingredients, make 5 ingredients, make that little cooking base, and all you need is like maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons, and stick it in your rice and see what it tastes like. We also use a little seasoning, and it's made by Goya or by Knorr, K-O-N-O-R-R, and it's called Sazon, S-A-Z-O-N, and it basically, it'll color up your food and make it nice and orangey reddish, so it's more presentable, because you don't you don't want your food looking green, right? You don't want your beans looking green and serving some green eggs and ham, basically. That's not really popular. So we add a little coloring to our food, and it also has some spices and things like that. But yeah, so really super excited about what's coming up. Um, Super excited about what we have in our future, what we're going to be doing um, when we get that place. I mean, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, all this space, you know? I mean, a front porch which overlooks the mountains and stuff. And there's this famous um, geologic formation. It's called the Kneeling Nun. It's out by the Santa Rita Mines, which is like a mountain range that's out further away, maybe like 20 miles from us. And it looks literally like a nun kneeling to pray. Part of the mountains kind of forms that kind of imagery. And I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but this area is very rich in lots of precious metals like copper, like gold, like silver. The name Silver City is because they found silver here. And at one point, Silver City used to be kind of like the turquoise capital of the world. They mined turquoise here for years, and still you can find pockets of turquoise. There are multinational companies here that have expansive mining operations in this area, and it's still a mining destination, a worldwide mining destination, sought out. You know, I mean, there's only a few places in the world that are like that. And Silver City, for whatever reason, this little place has a lot of precious metals in it. So we're really excited about, you know, being able to wake up and seeing that beautiful mountain with the Kneeling Nun in the distance, and Cook's Peak, which looks a little bit like one of the Alps, like Matterhorn Mountain or something. It's like 8,500 feet, and it's like maybe 50 miles away from us, but it's a beautiful, beautiful mountain back there, surrounded by mountains, and we're up on a bluff, so we're overlooking downtown Silver City. And you know, it's a little steep to drive up, and a little, you know, you could get down to town pretty fast if you're on a bicycle, because it's downhill the whole way. But it is an absolutely beautiful location, and we are so blessed to have it. The backyard has like a cherry tree. They chopped down the apricot tree, like I said before, but they did put in the drainage and they filled in everything, and it looks really nice. They have gravel back there. Looks really cool. I can't imagine us having much of a heating or cooling bill because it's an adobe home for one. And adobe homes are famous for being able to retain heat in the winter and for being able to keep the air cool in the summer. So we're super, super excited about that. And our front porch has like 4 patio chairs, and they all like do the whole rocking thing, which Mark loves to rock in a chair. And we have a barbecue grill. You know, it's like perfect. It's perfect. And we get kitties. So that's going to be really cool. You know, getting kitties. It's going to be so nice. I mean, I know it's probably going to be stressful at times. I know it's going to be hard work too, but you know, I've never really had my own home to take care of. Um, you know, when we lived in the apartment in Fort Lauderdale, let me just say, it was just different up until the time that I moved back to Silver City from living in Minnesota. It's just different. It's different now. And we've taken to our roles in a very, very organic and natural way. And for us, it's like, it fits. It really does. It fits. It's a 2-bedroom teen, a 2-bedroom. And it has no doors. It's just like an archway. And one of the rooms doesn't have a closet, but there's lots of lots of room, lots of shelf space, and lots of other little nooks and crannies to put things. The kitchen is really expansive and big. The I mean, it like has like I took pictures and showed them on my Facebook page, but like you come in, say you're coming in through the front door, you have to go by way of the gate, crossing over through the front porch and patio area, and that's where the chairs and the barbecue grill is and all that. Open the door, and voila, it's a big kind of laid out, kind of simple but very, very nice living room, family room type thing. And then has Spanish tile. And towards the backside, it goes up a level a little bit and it raises itself so that there's a place where you could eventually put a dining room table, maybe, or some kind of table. But the kitchen is off to the right, I guess, if we're doing this video like this. And basically, it has like two chairs already there, Southwesty style, snug up against the tiled, counter there. And there's plenty of counter space, there's plenty of pantry space, there's a new stove and a new oven in there. The landlord just replaced some of the interior lights. Oh yeah, we'll give you guys a full-on tour. Just shy of giving you guys the address of where we live because we have so many haters still. I can't believe that people are they're gonna dislike this video. Now I don't know why they're gonna dislike this video, but apparently they're going to dislike this video, which is sad. It's sad for them that they have to live with such negativity in their lives. Although we have nothing against anybody at all. We don't have a bone to pick with anyone of any social group, any political affiliation or religious affiliation. We just love and accept all people. That's it. And I'm learning to be a very forgiving and gentle soul. I've really kind of like hung up my devil's advocate type approach to life. At times, I have been a devil's advocate. And now I just want to be agreeable and I want to be able to see every angle. And if people have an opinion of something, I'm not going to shoot it down. Who am I? I'm not God. I'm not the judge. I'm not telling people what they need or should do or shouldn't do. And if people want to, get any advice from Mark or myself, we would be happy to share our lived experience. But our lived experience is not everybody's lived experience. And our way of being is not for everybody, obviously. There's only a few people who even attempt to do what we've done with our lives and stuff. And we're very lucky to have found each other because there are so many that suffer greatly in this community. And it's very unfortunate, but it's very difficult, So for us to have found each other is just such an absolute blessing. And the blessing is from God. I mean, I can only go back to my Christian roots. I don't really like hold on to anything anymore. But there are certain truths that I learned as a young child that I never forget. And one particular chapter in the Old Testament book of Jeremiah is one that I have always appreciated. And It goes like this. Hi, Christine. So it goes like this. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And you know what? That's the truth. That's what I've experienced in my life and in what I have come in my life. You know, God has it all planned out. And He has plans to take care of us, not to abandon us, but to give us a future that we would hope for. So, this is a future that I've always hoped for, was to be happy. And it wasn't about gender. I mean, it just wasn't, you know. And there are nuggets that you could find in other books and stuff, but I've never studied the, you know, the Hindu scripture word verses, and I mean, haven't studied the Quran or anything like that. But I have studied the Bible, and I have been exposed to many, many beautiful truths that lie in what is known as the Word of God. And it's really done a lot for me as a person. Hey, Carrie. Long time don't hear. I miss you. I miss the coffee. I had coffee this morning. Love you too. I hope you're doing well. I was, having coffee, and Mark and I chatted. I know I should have called. I know. I don't like initiating calls though sometimes. I don't know. I feel like I'm like kind of imposing, so I don't like to, I don't know. It's like, when you're on a plane and your seat is like, especially if you're in the middle, right? And someone decides to recline their seat. I've never ever said, hey, excuse me, can you please push your seat forward because it's kind of impinging on my space. I just, deal with it, so it's my fault. I'm sorry. I should call. I just feel I don't like to impose. So, but anyway, I will take you up on your offer. I know it's silly. But it's like one of those hump things that I need to get over. It's like another thing that I need to get over is I'm in great communication with my sister now. We have great conversations these days, and we text each other a bunch more than we used to, obviously. But it's one of those things where I will show pictures of the house till the cows come home. I will share pictures of things that I make and all that, but I will never share a picture of Mark and I. And Mark's like, why? Why? She's like seen all your videos. I mean, what's your hang up? And I'm like, well, I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable, So, but maybe it's time. Maybe it's time just to, I mean, I don't think she's imposing it, but I feel like I don't want to offend, and it's one of those other things that I need to get over, I'll just, yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't see why. This is our present state of living, and this is, she loves Mark, so I'm going to share pictures. I'm not going to hold back. I mean, why? Life is too short, right? And I've wanted to be able to call my mom, but ever since the move to Minnesota, I haven't. I haven't talked to her at all. I mean, I've attempted to call her, and then she never picked up the phone. But ever since my sister and I've been together, I haven't really tried to call her. So maybe I will today. Maybe I will. But I just don't want to hear the old arguments. I mean, because she's old school. She's like, you know, once she has one thing in her head, there is no changing it, you know? So she knows nothing different, you know? But I think that it's important to maintain those relationships, and especially your mother. I mean, regardless of how I feel, you know, she's still my mom. And I know she loves me. And I know I love her. So hopefully we can find some common ground. Although we don't have much common ground to stand on these days, I think it's worth it. So I guess I'll make that my challenge. I will call Carrie when I feel like I'm imposing. Thank you, Carrie. And you look beautiful in your pictures too, I saw, you know. And I hope that little Frankie's doing fine. And we have got a lot to talk about with regards to kittens, behavior, little shortcuts you may give me, advice, things that I might need to know, and things that I might not realize that I need to know. Mark and I are drenching ourselves in watching some of these videos about cats and stuff like kittens and behaviors and stuff like that, and picking the right one because we don't want to get a really fussy one that's going to be troublesome. I made that mistake years ago. I adopted a border collie from a cattle ranch, and I decided to the spunkiest, liveliest, bounciest, happiest puppy. Well, that didn't go so well because eventually that little spunky puppy turned into a real brat of a dog. I mean, digging holes in my backyard, chasing after people on bicycles and motorcycles, and going up to meet up with a gang of bad dogs in the neighborhood. That did not work. So it's been several years. That was like 1999. Yeah, 98. And it was a particularly very stormy spring. Nashville had lots of tornadic weather, and I couldn't get out and play with my border collie. His name was Shadow. I couldn't play with him because he was just, it was raining too much. So he got really bored. So maybe I shouldn't blame Shadow for what happened, but it just put a real bad taste in my mouth for having a pet. And so now I'm not just going in with one foot, I'm going in with both feet and getting two innocent little, cute little kittens. Mark and I are. So we're super, super excited about getting kitties. I mean, I've never had, other than a little baby bird, you know, taking care of it, feeding it with a syringe and stuff, I've never had the ability to have puppies or kitties or anything. My dad was a stickler on pets. I remember bringing one home, a little baby puppy German Shepherd, and my dad said, either I go or the dog goes. You know, either the dog goes or I go. And I was like, come on, Dad, I'll take care of them. My sister had to take them off my hands because my dad would not relent. And needless to say, I never had a puppy. But I'm so looking forward to getting puppies. Puppies, no, kittens. I think cats are just amazing animals, and just watching them is like a treat. You know, watching how they move and interact with each other, how they play, how curious cats and stuff. You know that saying, "Curiosity killed the cat." Well, obviously they're very curious. So I'm looking forward to playing yarn ball with them and, all kinds of stuff, maybe teaching them how to ride in a little like backpacky thing so I could go biking with them. Or, I don't know. I'm very adventurous and I'm very patient too. So at first we'll be really like gentle with them, and just take care of them. Yeah, teach them how to walk on a leash because we're outdoorsy people, so we have to be able to get outside. So our cats will not be indoor cats all the time. Not that they're going to play out in the backyard by themselves. That's not what I'm saying. But when we go out, if we go for a bike ride or if we go for the weekend, we can actually gently teach our cats that change can be good. Because I know cats are very much creatures of habit and they don't like to be changed, have their surroundings changed and stuff like that. But hopefully we can find a happy medium. And I'm hoping that Carrie, you can help me avoid some pitfalls that people make with kittens and as they get older with cats and stuff and you know so it'll be cool. I'm really looking forward to it. It's 2 days and we get the keys. Yeah, 2 days and we get the keys. They are, but that being said, if you get them comfortable on a leash, they will go anywhere like my Frankie does. He loves to visit people at places. That's perfect. I want my cats to do that. Maybe I'll just bring them to you. You could do that for them or teach them. Maybe we could have like an extended weekend or something. Probably takes longer than a weekend to teach a cat how to walk on a leash. I hear it's not as humid there anymore. Is it still the case? If it's still the case, it's really nice not to have to deal with hot but not bad humid. Yeah. Well, we have a swamp cooler. I don't know if you know what those are, but it's like AC, but a cheaper version of it. It only cools your house maybe 10 to 15 degrees um, more than an actual AC unit. Um, so, but we were considering pulling it out of the window because we don't want bugs and stuff crawling in. I can walk outside without feeling my face is melting and my hair doesn't frizz up. Yeah, imagine. I can only imagine. I heard horror stories about Louisiana in the summertime. That's why I got the heck out of Dodge when I could back in May or April when we would graduate from school in Louisiana or when we would take off for the semester for the summer and I'd go back to Orange County. I know, I can't imagine. And then to top it off, you have alligators. And don't tell me that you don't see them in your neighborhood. Because alligators, no, I don't do alligators. And I don't like living next to them or by them. When we lived in Florida, I remember we went to the Everglades just to visit and stuff. I miss Newport Beach and Huntington Beach. We don't have gators in my neighborhood. Yes, you do. You just don't know it. They're hiding from you. I live about 40 minutes from swamp. The Atchafalaya swamp, that thing is huge. I watched the Bear Grylls like survival episode where he like parachuted in to the Atchafalaya swamp and he had like a tent that was or some kind of a hammock thing that he made after he landed in the trees in order to go to sleep. and there were alligators swimming underneath him. No, just no. That's about 45 minutes for me. It's an amazing bridge to drive over. Long, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I noticed when I used to live in Louisiana was the drive. It was 70 miles from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, and all those bridges that you had to go across, it's so much swamp and Lake Pontchartrain, all that. I mean, Louisiana will always be special to me. I mean, I spent early, late teens, early 20s there and stuff like that. And it was a interesting place to be back then. I remember doing my first music video. It was a week before Mardi Gras. And I did this video. It was to a song called People Need the Lord or something like that. And I found lots of empty faces to shoot. Let me tell you, there's lots of destitution in the eyes of people there in New Orleans at that time. And you didn't have to go far to see homelessness and hopelessness, really. And it's an interesting place, but it's also sad because the history there, the oppression and slavery. And I visited, some of the plantations and stuff, and they're beautiful. But you realize, when you look in the back, there's like the slave quarters, and yeah, the suffering that went on there. It was sad. But yeah, I miss Newport too. I mean, I loved Newport. I used to take the Santa Ana Bike Trail from my house, 10 miles, and it would drop me off like right at the PCH where all those 2-3 story houses along the beach were before you get to Balboa, before you get to Newport completely. And, it was a cool place. I learned to boogie board at the Wall, which is like right between Balboa and Newport. I remember losing a fin and in the water there because that's a famous place where people like to go body surfing and boogie boarding. It's right on the jetty there, dividing Newport and Balboa, and the water gets particularly hot. Yes, the Wall. Yes, and BJ's Pizza, Chicago style pizza, yum. Yeah, I miss a lot of California. I miss the shopping mall there. I would love to see it. I would. It was a great place. What is it? What's that shopping center? It's called the Newport. It's outdoors. It's very beautiful. What's it called? No, not South Coast. The one that's like in Newport Beach, and it's kind of an outdoors one. Oh, I forget. I'll just Google it. Newport Beach Mall. See if I can find it. I love South Coast Plaza though. That's kind of my stomping grounds, which we've talked about in the past. Newport. It's been there for a long time. It's just I'll find it real quick. Newport Beach Mall. Fashion Island. Yes. Fashion Island. It's sort of like Peters Square in San Diego, which is the mall that's like downtown San Diego. It's outdoors as well. I love those malls. They're so pretty and, outdoorsy. They're so nice. But it was always like expensive. So I just go there to look. They had stores there that were expensive at the time, but now I think they're a little bit more reasonable. But, who's going to go shopping at a store called Balenciaga at Neiman Marcus? I mean, that sounds really hyper snooty in the Corona Del Mar kind of way. Or Bloomingdale's 59th and Lex Cafe. Or Brooks Brothers. or Chanel at Neiman Marcus. Yeah, someone with money, someone that lives like in Laguna Niguel or like Corona del Mar, which was beautiful. Dolce and Gabbana at Neiman Marcus. Everything's at Neiman Marcus. Oh, here's an expensive name. Ellie Tahiri. Ooh, that sounds like a really famous, like Italian designer or something. Um, Hugo Boss at Gary's. It's like all these places like Louis Vuitton at Neiman Marcus. I guess Neiman Marcus is the place to be, but I mean, if you got money, it's a beautiful place to live. That is the truth. Because, I mean, you can't beat Newport Beach for weather. It is so nice. And you know how it is right now. It's hot, but the cool ocean breezes and the cool air is just really nice, you know. And you're right there on the beach and you've got the boardwalk. Yeah, can't beat it. But I have Silver City, and it may not be Newport. Oh, I have good news to tell you when you call. Did you win the lottery? I know we haven't talked about it, but if you did, can you spare $100? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I ended up bringing back my bicycle that I bought. Yeah, it would be nice, right? We can all dream. Um, that's what Mark's dad, and ironically, my dad used to say that. He's like, if I did, we would go to Hawaii. Yeah, you're going to Hawaii though. No, but yeah, I would love to go to Hawaii. That sounds super fun. I did. I took it back because the seat post wouldn't go down. It wouldn't go down. It's like, who sells a bike, fixes it up? Oh, that's very sweet of you. Mark would appreciate it. Um, and he's got the body to show off, believe me. His shoulders are capping, his arm. I mean, every day that I see him, it's like he's turning into like the miniature version of Rock, you know. It's like, he might not be 6'5" like The Rock, but he's getting to be very, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm blown away. Actually, it's only been like 2.5 months since he started T. And he himself is like, I've never had biceps like this. Oh, yeah, not me. I don't have biceps. He has biceps. And I'm training with him again. And I am feeding him so he can grow, chicken, beef, pork. I mean, it's Proteinville here. And we make a protein shake after, before we leave, and then we drink it after we finish our workout. And I need the motivation because I realized that by myself, I just can't get motivated to go to the gym as often as he does. So having him as my trainer is like heaven sent because he does all the heavy lifting in his head with regards to exercises and things that I need to do and things that he needs to do. And I just go, and just follow the instructions, right? I mean, I just watch him do his thing and then I do it at a lower weight. And, it's really, it's really good. It really works out for us. So, yeah, but going to Hawaii would be pretty awesome. And I would like to take a train ride sometime. I wonder if the train actually goes to. Oh yeah, I'll do that. A friend of mine actually texted me. He's what we call an A-list camera operator in Hollywood, and he does all the major award shows. He does all the big time sporting events. I mean, he's like super rich and stuff, and he started out with me and back in Nashville, and I used to rent gear from him. And I mean, he's a really, really good guy, but he's made it huge, and he still watches my page. It's funny. He texted me on Facebook and said, "Hey, that picture that you took of your house, I could see the address." And he's like, he verbatimly quoted my address back to me, and I was like, "Oh, dang, I need to take that off because there's lots of haters out there, right?" So immediately I thanked him because when I zoomed in on it, I couldn't see the address. But I guess if you have a big enough screen, like he probably does, right? Because he's rich, he can see the address on my mailbox, on our mailbox. So needless to say, I took the picture down because I'm like clueless that way sometimes. I don't know what's wrong, but sometimes I just am. So basically, um, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. I was gonna go foraging for some peaches. I think they might be in season at this point, but it's getting to be later. Well, I might have some time. Strap on my rollerblades because they're the only bike that I have now, and wear my little knapsack and go out and go forage for fruit. But with regards to my bike, the seat post wouldn't go down. It was like welded to the inner tubing of the frame. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I took it back, and she took the bike back and stuff like that. But um, I'm just looking for a new bike. And I have a friend. Actually, there's a rainbow at the end of this story, and it's ironic. I was on the local classified kind of our Craigslist, which is called Grant County Goodies, and lo and behold, I found this bicycle, a road bike. Somebody was selling it for like $100, right? It's a Cannondale, which is like made in the U.S., top of the line spec frame, right? And so I wrote, I would be interested in getting that bike. Can you deliver to Silver City? Because it was a town close by that was selling it, the person that was selling it. And then I come to find out that the person that was selling the bike was one of my rescuers. His name is Aaron. So I personally texted him and messaged him and said, "Hey, Aaron, this is Lena. I would love to buy that bike from you." So he's like, "You're on the top of my list. There's lots of people interested, but you get first dibs. I'll bring it by, and you can buy it if you want it. I'm offering it to you. Might need the tires replaced on it. But other than that, it's been sitting in storage for like 9 years, and I'm the second owner, and it's a great bike." So needless to say, I'm going to wait until we move so we don't have all this stuff to take. And I'm going to get a nice Cannondale road bike. So I'm super excited. That's going to be really cool. Really looking forward to that. When I had that other bike, I did use it. It was wonderful. The seat was too high though. I'm just finding myself like stretching out and just, yeah, super nice. And it means something because I'm just not buying it from a local shop. I'm buying it from my rescuer, right? I called him my angel, one of my angels, So, all right. Well, Mark comes home at 1, so can we do coffee tomorrow? Do you have time? I mean, like 9 o'clock your time? That would be fun. And you can fill me in on some of that cat stuff. Okay, so that'll be great. So you have yourself a great day, and I better get going because I need to get some more fruit. And I can't get too much because I don't want to have to send it off, go packing it up and stuff and bringing it back to the house. But I'll see you guys later. thanks for watching, and thank you for um, being interested. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it might be in your big world. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, bye.